Don't worry.
What up, my fellow non-Olympic athletes? Welcome back to another episode of Hopsgeeknews, your home for comic books, movies, TV shows. And today, we are going to Jamaica and then to Canada because we are going to talk the 1993 film Cool Runnings, all in honor of the Winter Olympics ongoing now. Been a lot of surprises in the figure skating world, been some surprises in the hockey world, and, just a lot of, I love the Olympics. It's always a great time to see sports such as everybody remembers the sport that's curling, and we fall in love with curling. So if you're a fellow curler, you're a fellow bobsledder, whatever it may be, go ahead, like, subscribe, share, follow everywhere that you can find us on podcasting platforms, social media platforms. We are here. We break out into what we're reading or watching, our beer of the week, some news, in our main topic. I'm drinking out of Chicago, actually, where it gets relatively cold, believe it or not. Microphone Brewing's Vibe Check 1-2. I feel like this was a pretty solid, the music in Cool Running slaps pretty hard. The can's awesome. And so that's what I got. Lauren's over there setting up things and stuff. So why don't we throw it to her and see what she's got today?
So I actually am not certain what I have. My husband just got back from Croatia and Amsterdam and brought me back a Thunder Warrior West Coast Double IPA from Horizon Brewing. I don't even know where this is from, but it's got freestyle hops, New Zealand grown. I don't know where this is from.
I'm pretty jealous. He sent me a lot of cool breweries. He was at like a heavy metal brewery one day and a comics and beer spot another day, which is pretty cool. And where was he at? Hungary. Yes, Budapest. He did not see Hawkeye. He did not see Black Widow, but he did go to a lot of cool places. He even FaceTimed me while he was walking with his box of beer back to his hotel one night. It's pretty fun. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's from one of those places.
But it does say on it Selfish Games and Thunder Warrior. So I felt like, you got games, you got Warrior. It's got some orange on it, can remind you of like a Jamaican.
That's very
sunset.
Olympic because
Yeah.
That's Olympics.
I've not been watching the Olympics.
I haven't really too much. I've dipped in here and there. It's on Peacock, but
I watched Heated Rivalry, and one of the episodes takes place at the Olympics.
Oh, I have not watched that. Well, why don't you kick us off with what we're reading or watching? How do you like Heated Rivalry? It's big. It's a big show. I've had zero time to watch anything that isn't a screener or has to be covered. I'll be honest.
I know. I hate that when you have like all the you enjoy watching the shows, but it also feels a little like homework. So no, I just watched this one for fun. It was on HBO. I kept hearing about it. It's actually kind of sad, but it's also really sweet. So it's about two hockey players. They're rivals, and hence the heated rivalry. However, they're both also in the closet, and so the relationship goes on for years where nobody knows. They're scared to come out of the closet. How's the hockey community going to view them? Are they going to lose their career?
The hockey community in real life is really jacked up. Like there's a lot of messed up stuff. So it's really.
I know nothing about hockey, but they're fake teams. Like it's not the NHL, NHL. It's something else. It's not the Boston Bruins. It's Boston something else.
Oh my God, did they involve? Well, they might have to watch it, but no.
Yeah, one of the guys plays for Boston.
It is very much the hockey community. Like there's even a dude. There's a whole team up in Canada that just got their season canceled because they were filming one of their teammates in the shower and put it on Snapchat. God. So they're very.
That's a felony.
There's a culture in hockey that is very messed up, especially on these travel teams and other things that's been coming to light. Chicago actually. They're the Blackhawks. There was a whole thing, and they just came to light in the last couple of years about one of their gay players and the way that the coach and the organization was really inappropriately doing things. And honestly, everybody in that organization should be thrown into a dumpster and lit on fire. It's a really disgusting culture. So I'm glad that there are TV shows such as Heated Rivalry kind of shedding light and making it, and
a personal kind of you feel for these guys. I will say though, it was kind of reminded me of when I watched The L Word, or even like I watched. I can't talk about it yet. There are scenes where you're not going to want children in the room.
It's an HBO show,
It's
so
like
yeah, they don't
what
shy
was
away
it?
from
Yeah,
that kind
like
of stuff.
Game of
Sure.
Thrones, like all
Yeah.
those kind of things where all of a sudden there's, something on the screen. But what's funny is one of the guys looks to me, he looks a lot like Neil Patrick Harris. It's the Russian guy.
Oh,
And
weird.
it kept looking like a young NPH. I thought that was funny. But
Interesting.
it was really good. It was really sweet. It's very emotional at times, but I enjoyed it.
Nice.
But I did not have to write a review. I watched for fun. Again, saw on HBO Max. What else did I watch this week? I didn't watch too much, but I read a lot of comics this week. I
Ooh, what'd you read?
read 2 Ghost Machine comics came out this week, Geiger
What?
21 and Rockefellers number 12. Rockefellers is like the last issue we thought Dad kind of disappeared, and so they're trying to
Went out
figure
for
out what happened to
smokes.
Dad. You could actually say that. Yes, he went out for smokes. That actually lines up a little bit, but not in the way that you would think. So that issue kind of I feel like they're just bridging like this new arc that's kind of starting to happen. And then Geiger though is just getting so freaking good. You got the Northerner in it
I
now.
know I need to catch up,
Um
man.
it's just and they just like set all these things up in this like so it starts off with this World War II like tank just like drops out of the sky out of nowhere. But there's like so many things in it that are very specific to Geiger and to the Northerner. And Geiger is like questioning if any of this is actually real, but at the same time, like he's seeing all of this happen and he's still
Yeah.
just kind of like, you
Well,
can't do that.
it's
But he's
crazy
going
because the
along with it.
Northerner popped up in Redcoat, and there was a couple issues where the Northerner needed, Simon to help because the Civil War was going on, and if Simon they didn't stop this one guy, then this whole entire outcome of the Civil War would have changed. So then he had mentioned loosely there's some Geiger mentions there. So then for him to go from Redcoat to Geiger, it was cool getting those
Well,
connections, I think.
well, you got Redcoat too, but he's still in the background. So he
Mhm.
showed up a few issues ago.
Oh, wow.
Um, but he's not I need to catch up on Redcoat.
I gotta
But
catch up on Geiger,
also
yeah.
the timing of these things, it's like Geiger's in the future and
Yeah.
like Redcoat is I don't know where
We're
Redcoat
in
is
the early
now.
1900s right now.
Okay. I feel like the last time I was reading it, it was Einstein was dying or something.
Well, you gotta pick it back up, kid.
That's
I can't give you
mid-1900s
spoilers.
though. I
Yeah,
guess,
but
okay.
then they go back in time again to
We
and
go
now
back in
Albert's back as a
time.
teenager slash early adult kinda deal.
Oh, alright. Okay.
It's timey-wimey, okay?
Wibbly wobbly. Alright, so what have you read this week? I got more,
Well,
but, I've been talking.
I did dive into Aquaman 14, and that's pretty solid. It's kicking like it's catching back up. Things have been happening while Arthur's been away at the tournament. So essentially, Mira's mom uh has catfished everybody. Now she's trying to take over Atlantis, and so Mira is trying to take help out things like that. So it's kind of now converging back into its own storyline, which is really solid. Supergirl number 10, it's a really solid, just a Valentine's Day issue. Supergirl Kara, she gets
A lot
smitten
of
with.
Valentine's issues.
Well, it's February, man. Like,
I
what do you
know, but
expect? Like,
Valentine's is like
I don't care about Valentine's, but people
I
love. Let's give it up for love.
uh,
Yeah, DCKO number 4 was very much not love. That was a pretty solid issue, setting us up for the big finale in number 5. And there's some betrayals. We finally have the last man standing in the tournament, which is kind of not who you thought it would be. But if you
I
really think
haven't read it
about
yet.
it,
I
yeah.
have it. I haven't read it yet.
Well, I'm not gonna spoil it. Jar Jar issue 1, I read with Mark Guggenheim and Ahmed Best came back. That was a
Mark
stellar
Guggenheim?
issue. Yes.
Yeah.
Jar Jar goes to this planet and basically they mention multiple times how Jar Jar feels bad for essentially giving Palpatine these powers to in the Senate, and this planet is getting mined to death, going to become unstable. He meets Beck, who we know saved Grogu. So Ahmed Best's two characters, his Jedi and Jar Jar,
Oh,
and so
that's
they
cute.
link up, and so it's very much incredible having Ahmed Best return to the Star Wars world. The art is fantastic, and yeah, it's Jar Jar, but
I wonder if he'll be in Mandalorian and Grogu.
yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited that we're getting this run though. So I highly recommend people pick it up. It's solid. It's taking place obviously before 3. So after the emergency powers, before 3, all of that good stuff. And then Alien versus Captain America, Frank Thierry finishes off his 4-issue run, which I thought was incredible, amazing. There's a lot of just jaw-dropping scenes in this 4-issue run that I think people really should pick up. And it's contained, but there might be more to come. And I just thought it was really fun. It's funny. Bucky's full of quips, all of that kind of stuff. And then I did watch 2 movies. So Cold Storage with Joe Keery and Georgina Campbell. and of course Liam Neeson, and it was okay. It's pretty much like a poor man's Last of Us, essentially,
Poor
but it's
man.
contained. Well, yeah, there's like a bacteria fungus that if it infects you, you kind of turn into like a zombie or
Ah.
whatnot. It's contained in a story. It was just mindless fun. And then I watched this movie called Dracula that apparently came out in Europe last year, but it just came out in the States. I don't even remember who's in this besides Christoph Waltz, but it was not a good movie. It was 2 hours of my life I will never get back. And it was just the costumes were great. That was really awesome. It was like a Hallmark Dracula movie, but I didn't enjoy it. Is the easiest way to put it. There's a lot of scenes that I'm just like,
Terrible.
what are we doing in this? So I don't want to flame it too bad, man. These actors and people work really hard on this stuff. So I don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, this sucks. It just
Hey,
wasn't for
there's
me.
probably someone out there who really liked it, just like there's a lot of people who are like, "Screamboat sucked," and you and I loved it.
You're right. You're
So
100% correct on that aspect. So yes, I think there might have been another couple of things that I've read, and I just can't remember because I didn't write it down at this moment because I've just been reading, watching. There's a press junket that I'm going to get to be on this week for an upcoming show that is going to be really cool and really fun to talk about. And it's also a big deal. It's exciting for me, but that's what I've gotten into. What else have you done? Because you said you've done a lot this week.
So I just looked up my beer on Untappd to see what brewery it's from. It's from Budapest,
Hey, I was
and
right.
I did check it into Untappd, and it is my 12th year anniversary on Untappd. I've been on
Wow.
Untappd for 12 years.
That's crazy that it's been an app that long and used.
I
It's
know.
you don't really hear about it too much these days though. Like it
No.
kind of fell to the wayside, but that's interesting.
Well, I had completely stopped checking in any beers, and then I started checking them in again when we record occasionally when I remember. So if you want to
Yeah,
know what we're drinking or I'm drinking while we're recording, follow me on Untappd. I don't even know what my name is.
I don't even go on there these days, so
I just
yeah,
tagged
couldn't
you.
tell you. Oh,
Oh, on the Hoppy Geek, I was able to change it from the Hoppy Mommy. Okay, so I read Arc M. Oh my gosh, that was so
it's
good.
crazy, isn't it?
Yes, and I don't want to say what I loved so much about it because like that was such a
Besides the fact
cool
that there's a bunch of
twist.
child.
Oh, there is it's super dark and it's like they integrate a certain famous
Yeah,
person
yeah.
and
Ooh,
it's a dark super
the
famous
goosies.
person. Yes, it was really really good.
It was
I
dope.
really enjoyed it. And I was actually talking with Megan earlier and it was funny cuz I scheduled that review for you guys and I was like, "Oh, I don't,
Oh,
so I got a little bit of spoilers, but I did when I was reading it today, I was like, did not you guys did not reveal the good
yeah. Well, because
twist
we
in the
give some
issue."
spoilers away in our reviews, but I also want people who might be looking at these reviews to kind of blindly want to check out the books because they haven't. So I want to leave some things for imagination or for surprise, and stellar,
Imagination.
absolutely
Yes.
stellar book right there. I loved it.
So I also, read, Batman Court of Owls, the first 11
Oh,
issues, and that's Scott
yes.
Snyder and Greg Capullo, who are
It's like
gonna
the
be at
best run of all
MegaCon.
time.
Yeah, I think I quickly went through that whole thing. It's pretty good. It says it's only, like, 11 issues of, like, 50 something, so I need to get the next
It's
one.
the new 52. I have the trades and stuff. I'd have to
Well, I
look
wanna
and
read it before MegaCon because they're gonna be
well, I
there. Not
can
that
mail it to you. I got a
oh, no, don't worry about it.
helmet
I'll rather just
anyways.
buy it.
Okay.
Oh, the
Well,
helmet.
yeah, see.
They're pretty
No.
cheap. Those little DC books are, like,
Oh,
10
did you get
bucks for,
the
like,
yeah, the
11
compact
issues.
books? They have new ones out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome for those, but also I would pick up this coming week's Absolute Batman 17. Just gonna
Well,
say
that's
that
gonna be in my
much.
box anyways, if I don't
Just
already
gonna
have
leave
it.
that
Oh, I
there. I
just catch
won't tell
up
you
on
why.
Absolute Batman. No, I
Absolute
didn't.
Batman's
I read
oh, man.
Arkham. I didn't catch up on Absolute. I think
You're
it's a
probably
good
like an
start.
issue behind then because you're probably this latest issue 16 was dealing with Poison Ivy, and now 17 comes out on Wednesday.
I just picked up the Wonder Woman one.
Oh, the annual? Oh, that's what I
No,
read.
the one that,
Oh, oh.
she's, like, staring down at him and he's looking up at her.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the last that was issue 15 or 6. That was 16, I believe. 15 or 16. Sorry. I read these ahead. I apologize not to be a douchebag about it, but it yes. The annual Wonder Woman I recommend picking up. That was probably my favorite issue of Absolute Wonder Woman, and it's standalone. It's so good. Oh my god, the artwork in that it's Mattia D. Iluis. I can't pronounce his last name, but it's incredible. And Kelly Thompson still on that one. Wow. Blew my mind.
Yeah, everyone keeps raving about everything Wonder Woman these days.
It's
I
really
did,
good. Wow.
yeah, my shop is gonna put the Absolute one in there 'cause I had mentioned when I was at the shop the other day, I was like, "Yeah, people keep talking about it, and they're saying it's just as good as Absolute Batman."
It
And
might be
the
better, dude.
That's what Juan said. He's
Think
like, "I
it's
think it might be
better.
even better."
Shout
Yeah.
out to Epic Comics in Orlando on Alafaya, if you ever guys are over there.
Alafaya.
Alafaya. I was almost there. Look, I almost had it.
It's okay, the Google Maps will call it Alafia or something like
Well, at
that.
least I didn't say JLI.
JLI? That was so funny, I got a JLI. But, a lot of people, like, servers and stuff that deal with tourist towns, they say a lot of people order a JLI thinking that's how you say Jai-alai. But Jai-alai
Okay.
is a big sport, so I thought that that was,
No,
like,
it's not.
commonly kn oh,
No, no, it's
it is
not.
in South Florida. Dexter
Yeah.
killed somebody at a Jai-alai event or at
Well,
a
it's
Jai-alai
not
place at an event.
outside of South Florida because I can tell you nobody heard of it about. Anyways, continue.
So the only other comic I feels worth mentioning, Logan Black, White, and Blood. So the first issue of that, because it's multiple stories in one, is written by Benjamin Percy, and it's basically a Kentucky bourbon ad, and I loved it so much.
Nice. I wonder if he was just sipping on that at the time, just
I know.
he's enjoying a nice Kentucky bourbon, going, writing some Logan, and he just accidentally turned it and he was like, "This works. Let's do this."
Well, that run is just like little mini stories that take place between bigger Logan
Right,
stories.
right.
So it's a nice
Interesting.
little break
Yeah.
for him, drinking
Well,
out of a keg.
going into some news, we
Barrel.
only really have a couple things. I mean, Spider Noir, that teaser trailer dropped. It's coming out May 27th. You can watch it in color or black and white. I'm excited for it. I love Nicolas Cage. I know that some people are kind of, but me, I thought it looked pretty solid. It's Ben Riley in this alternate universe. He's a detective, and if you don't know the story, I will recap it before the show comes out on May 27th. But really, really, the trailer impressed me. I thought it was solid. So check that out. Severance season 4, and then probably season 5 expansion. Maybe I don't watch Severance, so this
So
one's you.
they I guess Apple has a lot of their shows are produced by, like, outside studios, so they just
Oh
bought,
yeah.
like, the full rights to Severance, and so
Mm,
3 is happening, 4 looks like it is happening, 5 is probably happening, and then they may expand the universe. So it'll probably just
interesting.
depend on how
All right.
popular it continues to be. I guess there was, like, budget things where it's like they wanted to start working on 5, but they needed the resources, and they didn't necessarily have the resources, and so I guess it was just easier for Apple to buy it. But that's a Ben Stiller runs that show.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say he's in charge of that, so not surprised. But Ben Stiller is a really good storyteller as well. I know he has a lot of pride in that. Whenever they did the campaign for it this last season, they set up in, was it Penn Station or whatever, or different places, and Ben Stiller is everywhere, like taking pictures. But it looked really cool, and he seems to be really proud of it as he slowly morphs into Jack Nicholson, but for the East Coast, because he's at every single Knicks games, just like
Spike
Jack
Lee.
Nicholson was at every single Los Angeles Lakers game. So
Wasn't Spike
yeah.
Lee at every single
Spike Lee
Knicks
goes to
game?
all the Knicks games too. Yeah, he does. I was just thinking, Ben Stiller, actor. Well, I guess Spike Lee could be actor, but he's a bigger director. But anyways, let's go into Cool Runnings, the 1993 film, in just a moment. All right, we're back. I'm not even going to do a Jamaican accent. I will not disrespect. Don't even, not even going to. Nope. If you got a red stripe, grab the red stripe. I'm not drinking the red stripe.
Hooray, beer.
I would love to go to Jamaica, though. That is on the list to go to on one of these cruises or something like that. But when a
I
Jamaican
sure
sprinter is
out.
disqualified from the Olympic Games, he enlists the help of a dishonored coach to start the first ever Jamaican bobsled team. Man, now this one, I just, gosh, it's got such a great cast. Mainly, it's John Candy, who plays kind of a more straight character in this than we normally see him. But we got Dougie Doug, who is Sanka. Leon plays Darius. Raldy Lewis is Junior. Malik Yoba is Yule. And that's
Yul
me.
Brynner, which
Yes,
I thought that was a joke at first because Yul Brynner's like an older actor,
I know.
but
Nope,
then they
that's him.
continue to call him Yul Brynner. I was like,
They
"Oh,
do.
okay, I guess it's his name."
They do. And it was directed by John Turteltaub. And yes, as we'll get into
Fun
the fun
name.
facts in a bit, it's loosely based on the 1988 Jamaican bobsled team. The box office was $154.9 million for 1993. And it was only made on a $17 million budget. So that's pretty impressive to see a movie like this. Of course, John Candy, who, for the 90s, it was unfortunately he passed away 5 months after this came out, which is really sad because this was a really well done movie by him, more serious than what we're typically used to seeing. You can find it on Disney Plus. So, Lauren, why don't you kick us off? We're going to go through the summary and talk about the film.
So we kick off with the '90s Disney animated castle. I totally forgot this
Do
was
you remember that from the
Disney.
VHSs? The boo. boo,
Yeah.
boo, boo, doo, doo. Wow, I got hit with a wave of nostalgia right off rip with that, and I almost wanted to cry for some reason from my childhood. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm a kid again. Get the VHSs." Little
So this
Mermaid, is that
movie
cool?
is, like, undeniably the early '90s. Attire and the
Yeah,
font are just, like, such proof of that. So we see Derice literally running around Jamaica as he's training for the Olympics, and then we meet Sanka. I feel like Sanka was everybody's favorite
of
growing up.
course.
It immediately becomes clear he's the fun one and the comedic relief, and he drives derby cars and employs children to build his race cars.
Yeah, he does.
It is race time, so he kisses his lucky egg and he says, "Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Come on, kids, it's pushcart time." And of course, crash. And then you hear, "Sanka, you dead?" "Yeah, man."
I do love that, it's because he talks about it too. He's like, "I'm the number one push car racer in Jamaica," but his cars are all garbage, and he got kids out there, and it's that island life. You know what I'm saying? There's not a whole lot of prospects unless you're leaving Jamaica, and you've got some things going for you, which some people do, as we see in this movie. But
Capitalizing
really,
on tourism.
right, if you're not in the tourism industry, there's really not a whole lot else for a lot of these island countries that people don't think about.
You just have to
So,
be
anyways,
resourceful. All
yeah,
right. So back to Derice. It's like Maurice, but with a D. He's
yes,
determined to win the gold. It's time for the test. There's a big, angry, focused bald dude and a
very scary.
shorter one with very nice manners and a nice smile. And they're off. The nice guy, smile guy, trips the angry dude and Derice. No Olympics for them. Womp womp. So as Derice begs Mr. Coolidge to give him another chance, he responds like Elsa, and the guy's like, "Just let it go." As they stare
Mm-mm.
at a wall of Olympic pictures, a skinny John Candy is on the wall. Derice
Yeah,
inquires, like, "Who's this?" It's, you can tell it's not John Candy at all. John Candy was the next
no.
skinny man. Turns out this man lives on the island and has won 2 gold medals in bobsledding. Derice responds, "What's a bobsled?"
So, like, the competitors were tripped by somebody else. So to not get a chance to, I know it's for the movie purposes, script and all, but I do feel like they
Should have
were
been given another
tripped.
chance.
Yeah, how do you disqualify like them and
But then what about the person, like, okay, so let's talk about, like, the 2002 national championship with Ohio State and UM. Let's say you call the whistle and you're like, "Okay, let's do it again." So what about the people that got into the Olympics and now they have to do it again and then they don't? So now then you have this whole,
that?
like,
Listen, then was it fair? Because these guys got tripped. So I don't
I
know,
mean,
man.
Ohio State's got UM's freaking trophy in their
I
trophy
don't
case.
know, man. I'm
So yeah,
just saying,
what
man.
is
Jerry
the
Rice
right way to
also
go about
fumbled
it?
it, and then the Packers didn't go to the Super Bowl because Jerry Rice was fumbled, but the ref said it wasn't a fumble. But it's clear as day. So we can do this all day. You're right. You're right. Now,
But we're not Captain America, so
semantics,
let's
everybody. Determined to make it to the Olympics somehow, this is when he starts to recruit his bobsled team. He goes to Sanka to drive. He's the best push cart driver there is. Sanka makes him beg with the promise of being on the Wheaties box. He's
these
in.
kids
You
these
remember,
days know
man?
what that
Yeah, I
means.
was gonna say, do they? I don't think they do that anymore, do they? Like,
I
do you
have
remember?
no clue.
I haven't even seen a box of Wheaties in forever
Probably
because
on the bottom
you
shelf.
don't see cereal commercials anymore. Tony the Tiger. Do kids know who he is? And cereal box brands have even lost their flair as it is. Trix isn't even shaped anymore like fruit. It's just little balls of nothingness.
But didn't it start as balls of nothingness and then become fruit?
I don't know. Did it?
I feel like I remembered it being balls of nothingness.
Well, that's because you grew up in the Great Depression when everything was balls of
But
nothingness.
I
They couldn't afford
properly grew
fruit.
up with this
You ate
movie.
beans. So Trix was just food colored
Wait,
beans for you.
beans?
Yeah, beans and rice. That was a Great Depression meal. Don't you remember?
Oh, of course.
All right. Anyways, this is when they go to find a gambling John Candy with a red stripe man. He's not looking like his
Hooray,
picture
bigger.
these days. He says, then he goes, "Look at me then." And he goes, "Look at me now." Wolf. Yeah.
Poor
Listen,
John
I can
Candy.
relate to you, buddy. Jeez. After beating the radio with the pool stick, Darice and Sanka ask him to coach the first ever Jamaican bobsled team. They then harass and stalk the sled god. Sled god wants nothing to do with bobsledding. There's clearly something going on. Darice continues to ignore it because he wants to go to the dang Olympics, man. And then he shows him his wild card, pulls out the picture with him and Derice's dad. "Look at this. Remember your promise, Mr. Candy." That's not his name, but it is here. Now, John
His name's
Candy,
Mr. Blitzer.
yes, aka Mr. Blitzer, tells him he doesn't have what it takes. However, Derice says, "I'm even faster than my dad," because John Candy, Mr. Blitzer goes, "Your dad ran the 100 meters in 10 seconds." And
I
Derice
ran
goes,
it in
"I ran it at 9.9. Technically, he's not wrong. He did run it faster. So, all right.
So Mr. Blitzer wanted to make a Jamaican runner a bobsledder. He thought like, oh, they're really good at this. They'll be really good at bobsledding. You can
I
transfer
didn't
that
know there was a
talent.
correlation, to be honest with you. I had no
Well, because
idea.
they have to start running at first to get the
Yeah,
bobsled
but don't
going.
these guys were like bulky though. Don't you want smaller people for the bobsled to go faster?
I felt like they were all pretty like thin.
Baldy was beefy, man.
He was, but he wasn't at the same time. Like he was beefy, maybe next to like Sanka, but I didn't think he's not like Terry Crews or something like that.
All right, I'll allow it.
I don't know. They seemed more fit than like
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were
builders.
sprinters though, so obviously
Yeah,
they're
they were
fit. Yeah.
sprinters. Sprinters tend to be thinner. More toned. So, yes, so Doris finally convinces him to give them a shot. However, they need 4 people and they only have 2. So they begin recruiting with an old school bobsledding video that comes across more as a gag reel for bobsledders. We then learn bones do not break in a bobsled, they shatter
Yeah,
instead.
that was tough.
So everyone ends up leaving, but then Angry Baldy walks in because that's what Sanka was calling him was the Angry Baldy. He
Yes.
does have a name. We'll get there. He says he's Yul Brenner. There's the name. He's in. They still need one more. Enter Junior, who is also late. Yul goes to kill him because Junior's the one that messed up his chances of going to the Olympics as a runner. And this is when the team bonding
Of
begins.
course it does. You got your storming phase. If for anybody out there who's never done team building exercises, this is it. So we got the forming, storming, and all that. Anyways, Sanka is told that he's the brake, not the driver, but Sanka says, what the heck, man? I'm the best, driver, or all that kind of stuff. The brake, you get what I'm saying. He's the best on the island. Mr. Blitzer, geez, he's not a
Listen,
reindeer,
not-
tells him the driver works the most and the hardest. And then of course they say, yeah, Doris
it's
should
like
be
the
the driver.
driver is there first. They leave last. They study the turns while
Do you
everybody
still
else
think
is
you should
out
be the driver?
having fun. He's like,
Oh, I
nope, I
don't.
think Doris.
Junior's dad is a very controlling business dude. And now they're going to be down a man because, Junior's dad says, I've got you set up. When I get back, you're going to be doing this
Going to
crap.
Miami and you're gonna be able
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's going to be a later problem. I love future us problems. Time for the test run down a mountain in Jamaica, baby, because they do have mountains, believe it or not. Cue the training montage scene with some festive and themed music. I love me the soundtrack in this movie. It's so fun and just makes me happy and filled with joy. And so the training includes sitting inside an ice cream truck. The music stops as the bobsled crashes into a cop car. They then ask who they are. We're the Jamaican bobsled team. Mr. Blitzer runs down the hill yelling, 5.9, 5.9. They did it. So that's the
Woohoo.
first test.
Now Mr. Blitzer is actually motivated. So this is the first time we see like a spark of joy in him. He thinks
Yeah,
they have what it takes. So now he needs $20,000 to get them to the Winter Olympics, which seems like such a small
it
amount.
really does, doesn't it?
So not so easy peasy. We learn he embarrassed his own country and they won't have Jamaica embarrassed like he did to his country. So Doris and Sanka start fundraising and looking for sponsors for the first Jamaican bobsled team. It is hard to say Jamaican bobsled team without doing the
It
Jamaican
is.
accent.
It is. Yes.
No luck until Junior walks in. He sold his car. This is his way of making up for tripping them and preventing them from getting into the Olympics. And Daddy doesn't know he sold the car or
Uh-oh.
joined the Jamaican bobsled team. Off to the
Uh-oh.
cold they go.
This is
Mr.
Lauren.
Blitzer, this year, I always make this comment too when we travel. I even said this in New Hampshire. I'm like, we're gonna have to cool runnings it, is what I call it. So off to the cold they go. Mr. Blitzer walks outside. Of course, the Jamaicans are all standing inside freezing, quite literally freezing. And Sanka then puts every item of clothing he brought. And that is, I said that when we were in New Hampshire because I had 4 pairs of pants on. I was cool runnings it. And I love the next line. Sanka man, what you smoking? I'm not smoking. I'm breathing. The temperature said
It is
negative
cold,
25.
man. Yeah,
It
it's
wasn't
tough out
Celsius,
there
yeah. But my
because
kids,
yeah,
like Logan was fascinated that he could see his breath when we were,
that's
out
so
about.
funny as somebody who like grew up with all of that. But then again, there's people who don't, such as this. So they get up there because they're in Canada now, and that's when John Candy goes to register his team for tryouts. Then we learn that they don't actually have a sled, so he finds his friend Roger, who has a spare sled. He kind of has to talk him into it, of course. And as the boys attempt to walk on the ice with their new special shoes, they look more like Bambi on ice. But luckily, nobody's getting shot because this isn't Bambi. Even though it is a Disney movie, nobody gets shot. Cut to Doris watching a bobsled team go. Now the garage door rolls up. And there's the big hunk of junk in Canada. It's their new sled. I don't know why I got to slap when I hold my base up here, I'm slapping the base up here. When you hold yours, you can go down there. Now, as they roll up with their new sled, we get the click. Everybody gets quiet and
Cliche.
stares.
The
Clique.
cliche. We get the
Oh.
cliche where everybody stops and stares.
Oh, sorry, you put click. I read what's on the prompter. Come on, anchor man. Sanka kisses his leg as another bobsledder taunts them. Coach pushes them off. Sanka screams. They crash. Sanka, you dead? Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. And he
He peed
peed.
himself. Tough luck, buddy. Tough luck. It's not like the
Him
rat.
and that rat from Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
So back at
Yes.
the hotel, Sanka is reading a Hulk comic and Yule mocks him. Back on the ice, and it's an epic fail, which makes the papers. So Junior's
Oh,
jig,
wow.
the jig is up. I wrote gig, not jig. I'm all over the place. Then we
Good
see Darius
Lord.
prepping his sled, and he starts talking with somebody, and then he learns Coach lost his gold medal for cheating. He put weights in the front of his sled, which apparently actually you're allowed to do. I didn't. That
I
came
didn't
up in
know,
the
but
project.
it leads to a really good
Whatever.
conversation between the two, I thought,
Yeah, there
because
wasn't drama. It was
yeah, it was very they understood because and then Derice and John Candy have this really heartfelt conversation when Derice goes, "Why'd you cheat?" And he goes, "I really wanted to win." And then he goes, "You have to learn that if you're nothing without your gold medals, then are you anything at all?" And so Derice was like, "Do you think I'm something, or how will I know I'm somebody?" And it's like this really beautiful moment with him and John Candy where John Candy's
it.
acting his
But
ass
we're not
off,
there
and
yet.
it's I know, but it got me in my feelings. Excuse me. Gosh, see, I'm even burping over here. So now
Not the beer, it's your feelings.
Junior gets a telegram from his father at this point because
Oh, no.
phones don't exist
Why
yet.
Telegram? It's 1993. I don't understand that.
Not at this point. He has to go home, according to his pops. We now have a bunch of people who are very boringly and awfully line dancing, while Sanka is in the middle. As Yule tells Junior he can't go home now as they talk, the angry German bobsledder tells them they have no business being there. Listen
Yeah.
here, bub. You've got no business being here.
So they
Yow!
go back to Jamaica, and he calls them
Yule is
Jamaica.
over it and he stares angrily at the German, who then drags Junior into the bathroom. What do you see? Pride, power, a badass mom who won't take no crap off of nobody, and then a fight. Sanka yippee-ki-yays it on in there.
He's like, yippee-ki-yay! And he just
It was
jumps.
again, love Sanka, man. It's amazing.
So Coach is angry about this. They got into a fight. He storms in. Next morning, the team wakes up Coach early. They're like ready to redeem themselves. They're like, hey, look, we're ready to train. We get another music training montage, including the
bathtub
infamous
scene,
bathtub
yeah.
scene that every kid in the 90s did while they were sitting in the tub. Left.
Yes.
And move your head back and forth. So it ends with their new uniforms. It's time to see if they qualify. And they do. They make it in with 59.6
there was like a tense
seconds
scene with the
needed
three
under
judges
60.
because one of the judges doesn't like John Candy at all, And
Oh,
so
yeah,
like
the guy from the
I'm
ref
gonna
that's
be
like,
up in the
3
tower, and he's like,
times, Bob.
"You?
Have you ever
Oh,
gone 3 times?
gosh." Yes. So sled painting time. Then they name it Cool Runnings. What are we, some kind of Cool Runnings? Of course we are. Which means peace be a journey. Suddenly the party is over. They get the note that they're disqualified. So Coach is angry, bust up into the meeting asking what happened. They then claim the Alliance has decided to change the rules, to which Coach says he messed up. Punish him, not his guys. They earn the right to be there and represent their nation. And honestly, though, that's very on par for the Olympics to pull some bullcrap like that, because the Olympic, committees, they're some of the most corrupt people right up there with FIFA in the world, man. And this obviously was just movie magic to get them not in there, but real life, the Olympic and FIFA committees are two of the most corrupt in the world. And so it wouldn't have surprised me that somebody would try to pull some bullcrap like this. However, they do get told that they're back into the Olympics.
Woohoo. Yeah, they were told basically, oh, you can't qualify for the Olympics because you didn't do a bobsled like tournament or whatever before this. And he's like, this counts if it's your first year or you've signed up within a certain amount of time or something like that. And they're like, oh, we decided to change the rules. That sounds like some
Interesting.
BS.
Y'all
Like,
scared?
you can't renegotiate the terms of a contract after you've agreed to the terms of the contract.
I do not alter the deal any further.
So as they get ready to compete, another bump in the road, Junior's dad shows up, but Junior stands up to him and he earns the respect of Yule. Back in Jamaica, they watch closely on TV. They're off to a rough start. Last place on day 1. So this now is a 3-day competition for the Olympics to win the gold. Now is the moment where they have to remember who they are and where they came from. Day 2, spirits are higher. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Get on up. It's bobsled time. Cool runnings. And they killed it. They went from last to 8th.
They moved up. It was awesome. Yeah.
First day, they were like speaking in German. They were trying to be like,
they went eins, zwei, and it threw them off. And they were trying to run, but they couldn't get in there. They're all discombobulated. They were bouncing off the walls. They didn't
It was
do,
rough.
look, they choked. John Candy walked in there. You choked. All that preparation, you know what you're doing, and you choked. Man, if that doesn't speak to the sports soul inside of me, you know you can practice it 10 times out of 10. And then on that 11th time, you're going in there for game time. And for whatever reason, sometimes your mind just goes crazy due to the pressure and all that other stuff. So yeah, it was a big moment for them and they choked. But John Candy's, you know, whole speech really got them riled up again. And you know, they got a whole nother day preparing for it. And that's when we get the really heartfelt conversation about why a coach cheated and what happened. It's just straight up, hey man, I had to keep winning. And if you're not enough without the gold medal, you'll never be enough with it. So it was really beautiful, that scene. The whole last like 15, 20 minutes of this movie really gave me goosebumps and at times almost like made me tear up because it's really freaking good, man. Oh my God, I forgot how good it was because we're back on the ice, kissing the egg. Let's go. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme, get on up. It's bobsled time. Cool runnings. Great start. Now they're flying through at record speed. You know, they're killing it. They're in sync. Everybody's like buying into this underdog story. However, a screw is starting to come loose. Of course it does.
A
The screw
literal
then
one.
comes loose. They crash, and it's a really brutal looking crash, man, because it's
It's the
just
real
their
crash.
heads. It is the real crash, and that's the only part of this movie that was actually real about the bobsledding team was this moment. And it's just gnarly because their helmets are scraping against the wall the whole time. And they were going from like breakneck pace, like 100 plus miles an hour. Now you're tipped on your side, scraping and going downhill on ice nonetheless. And everybody's silent and everyone's sitting there, gasped, all of that stuff, you know, and the medics are coming out. And that's when Sanka asks, Darius, you dead, man? No,
No,
man,
hun,
I'm not
I'm not
dead.
dead.
But this is where it gets really freaking
She's
beautiful,
like, "We have
man.
to finish this race."
Yeah, they get up and pick up the sled, and they are carrying the sled like it's a coffin because it kind of is. Like their Olympic Games are done, but it's like
And then
a
they're like, "Wait,
huge Oh, that clap was so funny. um,
it
and
reminded me of what is it? Not Another Teen Movie.
yeah, not yet. Oh, not yet. Okay, sorry. Slow clap now. No, yeah, it was one of those. And so they're carrying it. The angry German man's clapping. Everybody starts to clap. Everyone, even the bad guy who tried to get them disqualified, is clapping. And then they cross the Olympic finish line. Junior's dad's there. He opens up. He's got the Jamaica shirt on. Man, he's cheering them on, which is
They really pulled
amazing.
out all the stops.
Yeah. And then you know the angry German guy tells Jamaica, "I'll see you in 4 years, yeah." And the lucky egg's
Earn
still
the
good.
respect of the angry
Yeah,
Germans.
and then we get that whole picture being hung up of them. They go back home heroes, and then they return to the Olympics 4 years later as equals. That was really cool. And yeah, that whole scene of them just walking with the bobsled to finish the race still, despite everything that happened. I don't know why, but that got me emotional, man. Like something inside of me was
Supposed
like,
to, yeah.
whoo, like I don't even get emotional for anything else, but this sports sequence right here, man, you give me some good old fashioned sports, I might start crying on sight. It was just goosebumps a flowing. I was like, no, not the egg. And it was beautiful, man. It was just so beautiful.
The
Gosh.
egg survived.
Yes, the egg survived. So fun facts. Why don't you take us into some of the fun facts?
So when it came out, it was the highest grossing movie under the Disney banner. And it was
Whoa.
originally going to be more of a drama called Blue Maga, which is a Jamaican slang for in a state of great distress and starvation. Thank
Oh.
goodness they switched up and made it more lighthearted, or
Yeah,
it would
no
never
kidding.
be the movie it is today.
No.
So, like Matt was saying, Cool Runnings is based very loosely on a true story. They've even joked that it is only 1% based on the true story. The first team
Just a
was
crush.
in 1988, which inspired the movie. Despite the story in the movie, though, the Jamaican bobsled team was met with open arms by the international bobsledding teams. They were not, there was no angry
There was no
German.
angry German man standing like, this is our turf.
Goodbye, Jamaica.
Whoa, calm down,
No,
buddy.
I sound
Whoa.
like
Give
friggin'
me a lot of
Arnold
38
Schwarzenegger.
vibes there, my dude. Get out of here.
We're gonna get flagged for just such wrong
Yeah,
accents
the
in this
German
episode.
people, like the two German people who might listen to us are gonna come
I feel
after
like
us.
we're
I'm like,
allowed to make fun of German accents, though. I have German heritage. I think we're allowed to make fun of them.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, there's a lot to make fun of about America right now, so you know, why
Oh
not
yeah,
make
you can
fun of
make fun
us?
of all the American accents
Please, by
all
all
you want.
means. Yeah, so
See, I feel like we don't have accents, but
we
other people might think we do.
well,
I don't
we do have accents when
know.
you're
Eh,
yes, well, to other people, our accent is an accent. Like, look at British people, they have an accent, but then they do the American voice, like, even
but see, to
Canadians
me,
have an
that means
accent,
they don't have an
but
accent.
Americans have accents. So look at the
Some
Southern
of them
accent.
do. Yeah, I have
Southern
cousins in
accent, like
Texas
the
that
North
have
Dakota, whatever it
very
is,
strong accents.
Boston accents, New York
Brooklyn,
accents.
yeah. Sure,
We
but I
got
feel like
accents.
I don't have an accent is what I mean. Me
Yeah, I
personally.
mean, kinda like you say Munster, like you're eating cheese, not being chasing by Frankenstein.
That's because of, like, Winnie the Pooh. That's
I
not
say
because I
wicked,
have an
I guess, I don't
accent.
know, but
I feel like
so
those are just terms
somebody
we
out there,
use.
you have an accent. You're just
Those
not
are
angry in German.
geographical terms. I'm just not angry in
The only
German. I
time
can
you
be.
get Lauren's angry German voice is when you're in her inner circle and she yells at you. Trust me, I would know.
I yelled at you
No.
in German?
Maybe. Yes. It was scary. You blacked out, actually.
I'm only
That's
gonna
exactly
yell, "What is it? Bitter bitter."
you
That
said,
means
"You don't
bitter
belong
sweet.
here." I said, "But Lord, my flight isn't for another day." And you said, "Go out to the streets."
See,
And I
that's
said, "Okay, I'll go
Arnold
sleep in my bobsled."
Schwarzenegger, so you're
Yeah.
Austrian.
Oh man, I guess I'm the problem then. Okay.
Alright,
Well,
so
Sanka in the movie is a pushcart driver, but in real life, the local pushcart derby inspired George Fitch and William Maloney, American businessmen living in Jamaica at the time, to develop the bobsled team. So that's cool. I
so the
think.
inspirations of the team were actually Jamaican military runners, and one of them was a pilot.
Oh,
So this
interesting.
is crazy. I know we were just talking about this, like the crash. Like I had no clue until yesterday that the crash scene in the movie is their actual crash scene at the
I
Olympics.
didn't
I
either at
had
first. Yeah.
no clue. However, they do not carry the bobsled at the end, but you do see fans putting their hands out and like shaking their hands as like,
A
good
sign
job,
of
good job.
respect. Yeah.
Yeah. And you see like other people pushing the bobsled to the end as they're,
That's
they
cool.
look beat up. They look like they
Well,
just
they just
crashed
got
the
into this
bobsled.
bobsled crash. It was like a motorcycle accident. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
So that plus those things look heavy as all hell, man.
well, yeah, it was essentially a big casket. Look at that thing. It was heavy. Even, what's his name was Yule was over there struggling. So speaking of, the actor who played Sanka, Dougie Doug, still has the lucky eggs, which are made of rubber. I think that's pretty neat. I would take those. And this was Malik Yoba's first acting gig, and he actually wrote the song that they sing in the film. That's pretty dope.
That's pretty dope. John Candy did pass 5 months after this film was released. It was the last film that released when he was alive. He passed during the filming of Wagons East, which released
So
after
sad, man.
he had passed. Yeah. But he actually took a pay cut for this because he knew that Disney had a hit on their hands.
And I mean, a big part of him. I mean, Tupac Shakur auditioned for the film. That's crazy. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
That
And,
could have
it's
solved the whole East
funny.
Coast West Coast rivalry right there. Come on, Disney. Thanks for
Well,
nothing.
when I said that, because, my husband was sitting right next to me and he's like, "Oh, do you remember he was in the movie Nothing But Trouble? Have you seen that movie?"
I don't think I have no.
Is it called Nothing But Trouble? It has like Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase
He was in
and
the wrong movie.
I
Okay.
think Demi Moore is in it. And yeah, Tupac Shakur is in
Wow.
it. You haven't
Well,
seen that movie? And then they like eat the people. Oh, John Candy's in it too.
eat the
And
people. Oh, what the
he's
heck?
dressed as a woman. He's like in yeah. How have you not Nothing But
I
Trouble?
have
Yeah.
not seen this. Well, again, if he was in Cool Runnings, I'm telling you, he'd be alive, and so would Biggie. So, thanks for nothing, Suge Knight.
So by 1988, the 10 nations with tropical locations and climates were actually competing. So this was not like
Ooh,
so shocking that, somewhere
yeah.
that doesn't get snow has a Jamaican bobsled team.
Okay. Ooh, the comic book that Sanka is reading on the bed is actually the Incredible Hulk number 282, which had a release date of April 1983. That's a cool little fun fact. The song "I Can See Clearly Now" by Jimmy Cliff. I can see clearly now.
Clearly
Yeah,
now the
it
rain
was
is
popular. It reached
gone.
number 18 on the Billboard Top 100, or the Hot 100, I should say, is what it was called. So it's a pretty popular song from this movie. And then Turtletaub fought with the Disney execs because they thought Americans would not be able to understand the Jamaican accent so much. So they threatened to fire him, which he then told the cast that, hey, they basically want you to sound like Sebastian the Crab, which was what
Got to nail
basically,
that girl spins to the
yeah.
floor.
And so that's what they had to do, unfortunately. And that's how it went for them. But stupidest studio execs.
Sebastian.
That's literally what he said. They want you to sound more like Sebastian the
I
Crab.
saw that too, yeah.
Yeah,
It's just I mean,
crazy.
that movie had just come out in
It
'89.
did.
Everyone thinks it
Yeah.
was '90s. It wasn't the '90s.
I
It was
always forget that. I
'89.
do always think it was like a 91, 92 movie,
Everyone
but yeah,
does.
89. It's just slightly older. But that is Cool Runnings, man. I really love this movie. I think it holds up and it's a beautiful film. It just got me in my feelings. I really freaking love this. And it's a perfect time because it's the Olympics. So go watch it. It is on Hulu and Disney Plus. Do you have any thoughts as we kind of wrap this up?
No, I mean, yeah, I've loved this movie since it came out. This is
Yeah, it's
one of those
beautiful.
staples. Go watch Nothing But Trouble. It's an interesting movie.
Do it. Do it now. Yes, I will have to check that out. Maybe we'll see. But
It's
until
weird.
next time, everybody, we will catch you guys soon. Thank you for tuning in. Go watch Cool Runnings and always keep a luggy egg on you. I think I might start doing so. Peace out.